We're live. Happy days.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
We've had a real struggle getting in tonight, but it's lovely to be here. And thanks for watching, and thanks for all your questions.
Yeah, hello, and thank you very much. This is it's been quite eventful getting in, hasn't it?
It has. It's taken us about an hour to get in.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's just start with the questions. Some have come up on the chat, and we'll take some of those, and we'll also take some that came in beforehand, which we've printed out. So how about starting with this one that came in earlier from Ellen, which is a really easy one to answer. Why are there only 2 female masters in the Galactic Council?
It's a really good question, because I wondered that myself the other day, and we've thought about it, and if you think about where we've been on this planet for the last 10,000 years, it's been a very kind of
masculine dominated,
with a really heavy energy, and so to achieve anything as a divine feminine soul was a lot harder, and that essentially is why there are more divine masculine souls on the Intergalactic Council than there are
until
feminine.
recently. Females weren't listened to, they weren't respected. It was almost impossible for them to get their message through. And that's the only reason. We will therefore see more female representatives on all of the councils of light in the future. And remember that people came in specifically in that role of male or female at that time, knowing that. So we've just thought we'd run through who is on the Intergalactic Council. There's Master Marco, representing the confederation of all the solar systems, and he holds all the technological information of all the universes in a vast, powerful crystal skull.
And then there is the wonderful Commander Ashtar, who is the head of the intergalactic fleet that protects Earth and is at the moment working very hard to make sure that everything runs smoothly with the energies that are coming into the planet and everything else that's going on.
And there's Lord Hilarion, working with the technology of the future, and he works closely with Master Marco and Commander Ashtar that we've just already mentioned.
There is Saint Germain, who's also known as the Lord of Civilization, and most of us will know him as the keeper of the violet flame, the cosmic diamond violet flame, the lilac fire of source, and all of the other facets that we all know and love and use on a regular basis.
Yeah, very mighty being.
Yeah.
And then there's Jesus, of course, and Jesus is the bringer of cosmic love, so he's carrying the Christ light for the universe and spreading it everywhere, and especially to anybody who is open to receiving it right now.
And there is Kuan Yin, and she is known also as the goddess of mercy, and she works very hard for the lords of karma, and is helping balance, helping all of us at the moment bring through what we need to clear, which is why a lot of us are feeling so pushed, while we're all seem to be doing everything at once, and everything's on the table, and it's very stressful. It's because we are clearing this as fast as possible.
Yeah, and there's Lord Kuthumi. He's the world teacher. He's in charge of all the teaching colleges in the inner planes, and he's also overseeing a new education system suitable for children coming in now. So needed.
And there's Elmoira, who... I'm not so
Elmoira is the Manu. He carries all the keys and codes of the perfected human, of the 6th root race that we're going to become. Yeah. So he has got those 12 chakras open, working with the 12 strands of DNA, all perfected, and an incredibly powerful and amazing being. And right now is just beginning to touch people and help them move into who they will be.
That's amazing. And the Serapis Bey, who's I'm very familiar with Serapis Bey. He's a keeper of the pure white Ascension flame, and also is working very hard from his golden pyramid in the center of Hollow Earth at the moment, helping a lot of us who have stepped up to a much higher cosmic frequency to actually ground in at a much deeper level and provides protection. I can remember on quite a few of the workshops that we've done, we've actually asked Serapis Bay to kind of oversee the management, the grounding and the protection of all of us as groups when we're working together.
Then there's Paul the Venetian. Now, I've had a very interesting time with Paul the Venetian recently because I've been preparing a special workshop for the solstice, and he kept coming in. And I kept saying, why are you keeping coming in? He's saying he wanted to be in the workshop. He carries the flame of freedom. And that's so needed now as the forces of control and freedom are starting to clash. And this is culminating on the 24th of December. So he is really wanting all light workers to carry that flame of freedom in their energy fields now.
Absolutely. And there's beloved Mary Magdalene as well, who is obviously, she's the second of the divine feminine on the Intergalactic Council, and had a very, very specific incarnation that a lot of us are aware of, that was we've been putting to rights the things that were put out there, and there's so much energy that she is carrying for the divine feminine souls at the moment.
Yeah, and helping women to accept their femininity and males to accept their feminine side too, I think.
Yeah.
And the last one is Lord Maitreya, who's a member of the White Brotherhood and who does an enormous amount of work for our planet and the universe. So that's the Intergalactic Council, the beings that are working with us. And we can now, for the first time, petition not just for the planet, but also for ourselves, as long as it's for the highest good of all.
Yeah. Okay. And as the second question, it's just from Callista. Is Sandalphon Archangel Metatron's twin? And are they both masculine in energy?
Well, no, Sandalphon actually carries a feminine energy. The Earth Star is a feminine chakra, and Sandalphon's retreat is in South America. And the Kundalini of the planet was taken by the Mayan elders from the Gobi Desert in 2008, where it was a masculine energy, and they traveled with it to Guatemala, where Sandalphon has his retreat, and it was by divine alchemy transformed it into a divine feminine energy. So Sandalphon is the feminine side of that twin flame partnership.
It's an interesting one as well, because all of the archangels kind of also manifest their particular energy depending on our expectations of them as well. So this energy will either appear masculine or appear feminine to you, depending on what your current expectation of it actually is.
I'm sorry. Do you want to take one of these, Tim, now from here?
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Melissa's just reminded us that we started a bit early, so that there will be some new people joining in a few minutes. And welcome again anybody that we haven't welcomed already. And remember, we're all sending out a heart energy to connect everybody tonight.
We are. So thank you for joining in. And like for those of you just joining, we started a little bit early because we weren't quite sure about YouTube and how to function on it and everything, but it's gone smoothly. It's gone well so far. And so I'll answer this question. This is from Melissa. How can I stop taking on other people's energy? I don't know how I'm doing it. I seem to do it automatically. That's very, very common.
Yeah.
I hear this question a lot. Diana hears this question a lot, and I think it's been kind of the bread and butter of a lot of our spiritual kind of tests and learning over the years, is that we are all empathic beings. We all are interacting with each other on an energy level. And particularly at the moment, there's a lot of souls out there who are in fear. They're releasing density. And the more light that comes in, the more of this energy comes up. So naturally, excuse me, we've got to learn how to manage this. Now, being aware of it is number one. Using the tools that are available is another great way. So we were talking about Saint Germain and the violet flame earlier. If you're aware that you've taken this on, use the violet flame. use any of the other spiritual tools that are available to you. But also one of the easiest and the quickest ways that I've learned over the years, because I was really challenged by this years back, was to make sure that my light is as high as possible. Because the way this works is, the higher your frequency, the more stable and solid you are in your personal vibration, the less you are likely to be taking on other people's energy. But that's kind of a scenario for a perfect world kind of thing.
Yeah, I still take on people's energy.
We all do. But being aware of it, cutting cords if you need to, setting firm boundaries with people is another one. Because a lot of the time we've in a position where people might be coming to you for healing, you might be teaching, you might be the ear that people go to lay their problems upon. That is an exchange of energy. So you need to be aware of this two-way exchange of energy, not take on too much without ever receiving anything in return, and just be aware and use the tools that are available to you.
And I think those tools are, for me, the gold ray of Christ, surrounding myself in an egg of that. It's very protective. I also find Archangel Gabriel's diamond, his cosmic diamond, a very good way. And then, of course, there's Michael's cloak, and Metatron's cloak. So there are lots of things that you can use, as well as getting your energy as clear as possible.
Yeah, definitely. But it's an ongoing process. It's something that we're all humans. We are human, and we live in this diverse reality where there's all these different energies floating around at the moment. But particularly at the moment, empathic people are taking on a lot. We're clearing a lot. It's just that time. It's where we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now here's a nice one. I hear people saying that our bodies will become more crystalline as we ascend. What does this mean? How does it affect us physically? And this is from Anna, who's experiencing a lot of random joint pains and wondering if it could be a symptom. Well, in the golden future, everybody is going to be transforming their third dimensional carbon body into a fifth dimensional crystalline body. And this metamorphosis will take place at a cellular level. Now, this happens as your body holds a higher wattage of light. And light contains love, wisdom, and knowledge. And so the more we are on our journey to ascension, the more we'll be automatically taking in that higher body of light. And then our spirit travels in our light body, known as a Merkaba. Now, currently, most people see their Merkabas as two pyramids, one going up and one going down, interlocking. That is the masculine energy. As we move more and more into a higher frequency, we take in more feminine energy, and then our Merkaba becomes round. It becomes an orb around us. Like you see the angels travel in their Merkaba, their light body, and that is an orb. And so we will start traveling in an orb, and you can help to bring this about by visualizing yourself in that orb and accepting that you are carrying a higher light. Yeah.
It's an interesting place actually at the moment, because we are going through a lot of changes and on this physical plane, and a lot of the symptoms that we are receiving are due to the quantity of light that are coming in. It's made jokes over the years about rewriting kind of what doctors are expecting to hear when you go there. It's like half of the things that we're coming to, they've got nothing in their compendiums to actually say, well, you've got this.
You're ascending.
Yeah.
That's like, why your joints are achy.
Exactly. Or you need to stay in bed for 3 weeks because you've taken in too much light at a workshop, or something like that. It's all as allopathic and spiritual medicine kind of comes together, then we will be seeing a lot more kind of solutions for the things that we are going through at the moment.
Yeah, because the light is raising our frequency above the symptoms. And so, Anna, the answer is it could be. That's why you have joint pains. On the other hand, it's much better to do everything you possibly can. And remember, to build your light body is eat more lighter food, drink purer water, take appropriate exercise. All those things are what you need to do as well as just trusting it's part of your ascension.
You'll find
process.
that your bodies are being pushed to go in the right direction a lot. It's a thing I'm seeing a common trait where people are becoming more reactive physically to certain foods, drinks, what we put in our body. And this is natural as we're raising our light, as we're literally changing from as within, so without. Everything that we put in our bodies is now starting to either, our bodies go yay or nay, basically. And this is becoming a lot clearer, as I find, as we're going along. Look at it.
Sorry, do you want to choose one?
Yeah.
Or do you want to take the next one? Oh, look at it. And I'll choose one from here.
Okay. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about the question about the financial system. This is a question I think that it's on everybody's lips at the moment. You know, what is happening? What will the new 5D money system look like? Will there be so much kind of what we call corruption in the current financial system? And what will be the driving force behind it? Can we navigate the changeover so that we are still provided for and intact while all of this is going on? And there will obviously be changes to the systems that we're using. There are a lot of, we were discussing this earlier, and there are a lot of systems that are moving into place that will be available as support units for people who are deciding to kind of, it's almost like we're not peeling off as a minority. There's this almost what we see, this division in consciousness at the moment, with people taking either what we describe as the high road or deciding to stay where they are. And of course, we're going to have to set up new systems. We're going to have to find new ways to support ourselves. And one of the excuse me, one of the things that's very big at the moment is the kind of the upsurge in cryptocurrencies, and anything that's happening at the moment will be kind of an interim. It's almost like we've got another 10 years of this transition period. It's still in a process of creation. We don't really know what's too far ahead. But one of the things that's always been told to me and to Diana, to anybody else who's on this pathway, is trust in the universal flow. We will always, once we've set our vibration, once we've got into the position that we wish to be in, we're following our ascension pathway, we're kind of answering the call of our soul, so to speak, we will be kind of in the hands of the universe, and everything will be provided for us. We're, at the end of the day, we are master creators, we're master manifestors. And I'm seeing things kind of be put into place to kind of manage the situations that are occurring. It feels uncertain, there's a solution. Feels uncertain, there's a solution. And this is how we're going to be going through it. It's a kind of a bit like trusting what is going to be happening the next day will be for our highest good at all times.
And I agree that it's a lot about trust. And if you don't trust, then life is going to be very difficult. After 2032, money will cease to have relevance. So in that period up to 2032, will be going through things like cryptocurrency, local currencies, all sorts of things. Then money ceases. And then when that ceases, it's all about exchanging and bartering. But at that point, the consciousness shifts. And it's very difficult for us in the current consciousness of fear to understand what it is like when in a fifth dimensional consciousness, you absolutely trust that your needs will be met. If you have a fifth dimensional consciousness, the universe brings you abundance. And so, and there's a question here about mortgage policies and pensions, all of that sort of thing. I think we're going to have to let go of a lot of our current expectations and beliefs and know that new will take its place. Remember that there is going to be a division between a fifth dimensional world and a third dimensional consciousness. So if you want to continue with the old third dimensional regime at a soul level, then you will do so. And if you want to move into the fifth dimension, then it's a completely different ball game that we have to open up to.
Yeah. And we're kind of learning this one as we're going along. We're painting the picture, and it's find the information is kind of given to us on a need to know basis, which is why a lot of us feel like a little bit like we're in the dark all the time. But it's happening. It's happening very smoothly.
And don't put a lot of concern into it.
No, trust.
Yeah.
Trust.
Okay, question from Gary here. And it says that my book, it might be our book, that when all ascension chakras are open, the Earth star ignites. And that's not quite true. When the latter happens, does this mean Earth energies come up through the feet? And is this normal? I don't think that either of us have ever said that when all the ascension chakras are open, the Earth star opens, because the Earth star opens first. That then ignites simultaneously with your top 3 chakras, the 3 transcendent chakras. When that happens, yes, earth energy does come up through the feet. And I know that every time I open my earth star chakra consciously, my feet start to tingle and get very warm as I can feel those earth energies coming up. And that starts a marvelous exchange between heaven and earth. That is the chakra that allows that to happen.
It's a powerful process.
Yeah,
Very
it is.
powerful process.
Okay.
Can I answer this one? I love this question.
Yeah, please do. Which one?
So Renata's saying, thank you for your work. And thank you, Renata. And please be so kind as to tell us what the priority focus for December is. Good question, because December's an important month. Very important. We're galloping towards the solstice at the moment. Now, I know every year we kind of, oh, it's the solstice. It's really, really important. Or it's, oh, it's the Lion's Gate. And it's really, really important. And these are incredibly, they're exciting spiritual dates, but people kind of tend to get to them and then life continues on the 22nd. But we're doing so usually with a huge inflow of energy and a new template to work with. The priority for this December will be to stay in as high a vibration as possible, because there are going to be an incredible amount of distractions kind of coming at us. What I'm seeing is the pattern is like we're doing our absolute level best to keep our vibration as high as possible and aim for what we want. And it seems to be like the kind of the game is to knock us off our pedestal and kind of like draw us into like the fear and the general kind of pool of negativity that's going on around us. Keep your light high at all times. Keep your vibration clear. Don't tune into things that will drop your frequency. If you have to become aware, then make sure that you're doing it almost from an observational and an educational viewpoint. So know what's going on. But by the 21st, by this upcoming solstice, we are going to be required to be very clear and very, very on point as to where we're going and what we are deciding to do with the coming year.
Okay, can I just add something to that? The 21st is very important, but as I understand it, the 24th, the day before Christmas, is a day when the heavens are absolutely dictating. It's the culmination of the battle between control and freedom.
Ooh,
and
okay.
Yeah, and so it's the solstice will help to prepare us for that.
Yeah.
But this is why I keep going on about carrying St. Paul's flame of freedom,
Right.
Paul of Venetian's flame of freedom, because all light workers are going to ask to just stand steady and hold that flame and just be absolutely in your truth about it, because we might have to stand up for
what's right,
what we believe in.
Yeah, what's right. Stand up.
Yeah.
Claim our sovereignty.
Absolutely.
Claim our sovereignty. And that's coming straight from the Intergalactic Council. If it's coming from Paul the Venetian as well, it's top drawer information.
It is. It's very, very important right now for everybody.
So start practicing it.
We've come in for this period specifically. That's what our souls agreed to do, and that's one of the big tasks that we have to do right now. Draw
your line in the sand, whatever that line in the sand needs to be at this moment in time.
Yeah, and in some countries it's more difficult than in others.
Yeah,
but everybody will do what they have to do.
Absolutely. Okay, so shall I read this one out?
Not to hear.
Yeah, number 5. Question number 5 here. I was wondering how to open my second vocal cord and throat as it's closed. Been checked by the doctor, but not sure why it's closed, making life generally uncomfortable. What angel or archangel would be able to help with this? And that question is by Noreen.
Well, Archangel Michael is in charge of the throat chakra. That's the simple answer to the question. when I read that question, I thought, okay, who or what in your childhood or past lives has stopped you from speaking your truth? And when you explore that internally, that will give you the answer about your vocal cord. But Archangel Michael will help you with that journey. So were you able to be heard as a child? Did anybody value what you said? Did anyone hear you? And you know, this happens to so many people, myself included. But I also had another experience, which was when I started to talk about Atlantis. From the very first talk I gave on Atlantis, I had no voice. For 10 years, I struggled to have that voice. And it took all that length of time working on myself and speaking, despite the fact that I had no voice, before I was able to clear it.
When you say no voice, I think the story that you originally told me about it, tell the story about that first workshop, because I sometimes tell that tale at events that I'm running. It's quite incredible.
I went to give a talk on Atlantis, my very first talk on Atlantis. The hall was full and I had no voice at all. And I just had to say, whisper. And I said to people, please be quiet, because I can't do more than whisper. I whispered the whole talk. You could hear a pin drop because nobody dared make any noise or they couldn't hear. But it was just so fascinating. And at that time, no one was talking about Atlantis. Nobody knew that stuff. And that was a long, long time ago. But it took 10 years before I was able to talk about it and have a voice.
It's quite incredible, isn't it? Because I do remember right back in the early days when I first started presenting in 2013 and 2014, you would still cough.
When I talked about Atlantis.
And I do as well. It's quite a common thing. It's and it's a lot to do with the Atlantean collar that many of us left Atlantis with at the end. And this was due to, and it was created to deliberately restrict the power of the fifth dimensional throat chakra that many of us had in Atlantis. So, and from that point onwards, we underwent situations throughout the last 10,000 years that blocked our throats, so that we didn't want to speak our truth for fear of punishment. There's a lot of that that's coming up karmically and energetically at the moment. And one way through it, the one way that I have found to really help clear your throat chakra is speak your truth with loving integrity.
Yeah, no matter what. And then it has to come through.
Yeah, even if it's difficult. Even if you're trembling and your voice shakes, speak
or
your
you have
truth.
no voice.
Yeah, if you have to squeak.
Okay, now here's a difficult one from Joan. If some dear soul takes their own life, does this interfere with their soul's journey and karmic positions? There are several answers to this, as I understand it. There are some people who commit suicide because they've heard the call to go home, and that's their way of responding to the call. And in that case, that is their soul journey, and so it doesn't interfere with their karmic position. Then it might be somebody else who is frightened of facing something, and they might have been frightened of facing that same something for many lifetimes. So very often it's happened before. And in that case, yes, it interferes with their soul journey and, of course, that of those around them. And that does have karmic implications. Would you agree with that, Tim?
I would. But there's also circumstances where people just kind of, I mean, we are sometimes kind of very enthusiastic when we sign our cold soul contracts before coming down here. We'll agree to situations and we'll agree to circumstances that once we've actually had, we're here on Earth, we all know how challenging Earth can be. So when we get down here and it comes to facing these situations, some people just think, I simply cannot do that. And that's, and then so it's kind of you after at the end when the soul goes back, sits around the table and discusses this, it's like, well, when you feel ready, go back and try again. So it's almost like the cycle goes into a state of repetition. That's the way I understand it anyway. Okay. Just looking for a few more
I'm
questions.
sorry, I'm just looking down the questions, sometimes down question. Well, what's the next one on here? Oh, that's a question for you.
How do we know how much light percentage we are vibrating at on our ascension pathway? This is a good one, because I'm always going on about light quotient and light percentage, and I think I picked up the habit from Dr. Joshua David Stone, because he would talk about light quotient, and the where we are at the moment, we are all holding a fairly high light quotient, but it will ebb and it will rise and fall over the course of your normal day. And to begin the ascension pathway where we are at the moment, our light has to have hit 79%. Now, when it hits 79%, we kind of go into ascension mode, which we're all in at the moment. We're all going through this process of embodying our 12 chakras. Some of us are even perceiving the appearance of more, and there's another 3 that are coming in. One of them that was actually binding us into the 3D matrix that has been released. So we are all well past the 79% mark. But I've heard people saying, well, over the course of the day, I asked what my light percentage was, it was at 68. What am I going to do? And kind of go into a state of meltdown about it. Our percentage will fluctuate over the course of the day. It will fluctuate because of what we're thinking, what we're experiencing, what we're eating, what we're drinking. And this goes up and down. But ultimately, what we're looking for is kind of like a sailing point of about 80 to 85%. And that keeps us in the 5th dimensional bandwidth of energy. So anything between 80 and 85% for most of us now is very comfortable. Okay, 10 years ago, we'd have felt absolutely fried trying to hold this vibration, but now we're used to it, we're set at it. So what I tend to do, I always aim a little bit higher, and I've been working with it for years. So it's a little bit like me having trained at the gym for years, asking somebody who's never lifted weights to go and kind of bench press 100 kilograms kind of thing. I've practiced it. I've done a lot of light building and work with my systems. So I know, and I've pushed myself into the red quite a few times where I've done too much, and okay, need to drink a lot of water and go and calm down for a few days. So you're looking for the ideal or optimum percentage for you at this time. The best person or the best soul to ask is either your higher self or Archangel Metatron, who will be looking after what is ideal for you on Earth at this time. Okay.
Lovely answer. Leave that one to you. Okay, I've found a question here which just suits me right at this moment to answer from Sarah. Could you please talk about the differences in energy and purpose of the Stonehenge, Glastonbury, and Avebury? Because I've just been preparing the solstice Zoom, and it's all about Glastonbury, Avebury, and Stonehenge and what is happening. Now, they are all individual portals, and very powerful individual portals within one vast portal, one of the biggest in the world. So Stonehenge is one of 4 two-way intergalactic portals on the planet, and it is the retreat of Lord Fuslu, who was the high priest who created the jump shift into the golden era of Atlantis, the legendary golden era. He carries those keys and codes, but he has come back right now, not in a physical body this time, but to help us jump shift into ascension. And he will be there at the solstice to meet us, along with Paul the Venetian and his flame of freedom, along with Jesus, the bringer of cosmic love, El Moira, who carries all the people we've been talking about tonight, interestingly enough, who carries the codes for the new human that we're going to be, Commander Ashtar. So it's going to be a very, very powerful meeting of the 6 great masters who are coming there specifically to give us different energies to help us jump forward. So Stonehenge is also the place where the 7th dimensional web of light around the universe that's being built right now, and we're asked to help build that at the solstice, where it anchors into Earth. So it has very important purpose. Glastonbury is the portal between Earth and the portal of love, and Venus, the cosmic heart. So that was created by Jesus, and Tim often talks about that. And this was created by Jesus and Joseph of Arimathea, and it went from the Tor right up to Venus, the cosmic heart. And so love energy pours in there. And Avebury was originally the welcome portal in this universe for all visitors from other star systems, and they were welcome there. Then the road was built through it, and that was pushed through by dark forces to cut the power of Avebury. But like all things that have been done on the lower side over the last 10,000 years, that's now being blown out of the window, and Avebury is expanding, ready to become a major welcome portal again for UFOs. And so it's regaining its power again, despite efforts to block it. So those are very quickly the differences in the energies of those three major and beautiful portals.
That's a lovely answer. Yeah.
Anything more you want to add?
It's I like the way you're saying about the road that went through Avebury. There's a lot of things that have been done to kind of break ley lines, break energy systems, but what I've been seeing going on since July this year is what the Seraphim call the building of the high road. And we've all seen kind of in our mind's eye or visualized or had people tell us about this kind of like this golden roadmap or this new ley system that is being overlaid on the planet at the moment. So it doesn't matter how many roads they build for it, basically at the moment, this new energy system is going in, and it's way above anything that can be done on the physical level to stop it.
And we are being asked to add our energy to help build it.
Yeah.
This is the important thing. Now, here's a lovely one from Gabby. Will the pharma industry totally vanish, and when? Well, the first half is, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to answer that one?
Yeah. So I try not to get on my soapbox too much.
Yes, I know. Well,
it's we are rapidly moving into a period of time at the moment where allopathic medicine is kind of it's like two balls kind of clashing with each other, like spiritual medicine and allopathic medicine. They're kept separate for very good reasons, which is money, basically. Now, over the years, as we gravitate towards natural healing methods, there will obviously be I see there as a marrying of the two. Okay, so there are beneficial aspects of the allopathic medical system which are used for the human body, and they will kind of intertwine with the spiritual knowledge that we all have within us and the healing modalities that are going to be coming through, and a lot of them that we're going to be employing for the future. So that we do have a very effective healing system for ourselves in the coming years. And this is happening now. So what we're seeing is kind of like the beginning of the rejection of the huge kind of pharmaceutical empire. We've got to be a little bit careful of the words that we use on here as well. This kind of, it's on everybody's radar now, isn't it? You know, like we're all starting to realize just how big and powerful and all of this stuff is. But as with all things that are big and powerful, they're prone to kind of getting a little bit too above their station. So this is one of the things that we are looking at, and that we were talking about is coming up with the energy of the new year, or particularly on the 24th. This is what Diana is referring to, and Paul the Venetian is referring to. This is about our sovereignty, about our bodies, looking after ourselves. So of course, naturally, anything that doesn't support our highest vibration, what is good for us at the highest level, will eventually disintegrate.
Yeah, I think that as soon as the fifth dimensional chakras are in fully, and then you start moving up into the higher levels of the fifth dimensional chakras, then self-healing comes in. So in the new golden age, after 2032, people will start being able to heal themselves. The only thing that will need to be done then is to balance, stay in balance. And of course, all the big hospitals, all the supermarkets, everything like that is vanishing as we move into small and local. And there will be small local healing centers where people can go to be balanced. And also we will have new techniques that are way out of our understanding now that will make it so much easier to stay in balance. And the fifth dimensional consciousness is such that people will live in love and harmony and balance anyway. You know, people who want to continue with drama, they won't want to be part of the fifth dimensional paradigm that's coming to Earth. They will, there's no judgment, everybody is where they are, but they will just move to another plane of frequency, which is still third dimensional. So we're talking about, as we move into the fifth dimension, those that wish to belong to that paradigm of harmony will stay in good health and maintain that.
And it's also about taking personal responsibility for our health as well. This is with the question of sovereignty becomes our own self-mastery. As the saying goes, as within, so without. So we get, you fix the physical unit and everything else around you falls into place in harmony with your own personal vibrations. So we're going to be doing a lot of creating on that level as well.
What I love about the new golden age and living in the fifth dimension is that all these stupid laws and regulations that are around now will vanish completely. It'll just be about self-responsibility and common sense.
Natural laws.
You don't need anything else, do you?
No,
but
you don't.
We will move back to that, or into that for the first time at a higher level.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, next question is, what is the most important thing to do for ascension? Right.
I think it's to actually keep your vibration as high as possible. Work with your 12 chakras.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
work with your 12 chakras.
That is, for me, that's been my kind of the bread and butter of my processes for the last 20 years or so, is work with those chakras. They are you. They are connecting you to your reality. They also contain everything that you need to kind of embody and work with and also clear in order to move on. So if you've got something that you're stuck with in your life, it will most likely pertain to one of the chakras within your body. Like we were talking earlier on about the throat, you know, we're a lot of us are moving through that spiritual gateway of speaking our truth. You know, there's all these different thresholds to mastery to go through, and it's all contained within the chakras of our body. So working with them is a guaranteed way to keep your vibration high.
And that's very simple. I noticed there was a couple of questions about, could we just run through the 12 chakras, which is very easily. The other thing, the most important thing to do with Ascension, we'll just run through those 12 chakras in a minute, shall we, is to focus on the positive. Yeah. And so I'm not saying don't do anything negative, because that is negative. Focus on the positive. If people all around you are talking about the scary things going on right now, the fear vibrations, focus on the new golden age. No, I was at giving a little talk to some friends the other day, or some friends of a friend, and I was talking about the collapse of the old paradigm and how everything is just being knocked down. And somebody said, oh, she said, it's like a friend of mine had her kitchen changed. She said all the walls were knocked down, all the cupboards were knocked down. And she was saying, oh, this is so dreadful. I don't know how I can live through this. And she said, I said to her, just think you're having a new kitchen put in. In a couple of weeks, you will have a fabulous new kitchen. Just think about that. And so easy. So many of us have had new kitchens, new bathrooms. You think about what it's going to be like in a little while. The only difference is that it takes a little longer to bring in an entirely new world. Yeah. That's the only difference. Okay, should we just go through the chakras?
Yeah.
Do them in turn?
Yeah.
Okay. Just close your eyes and I'll start, or you start.
Okay. Well, do you want to start?
Okay, I'll do the Earth Star then, shall I?
We're going that way up. Okay.
But which way? Doesn't matter which way you do it.
Okay.
Okay, just put your feet on the ground, focus on your Earth Star below your feet, and see it as a huge silver ball of light holding your divine potential, and you might already feel your feet tingling.
Beautiful. And now just start to move your attention up from your Earth Star chakra below the soles of your feet. Come up your shins to your knees. Move the energy up to your thighs and come to your base chakra, which is a beautiful, bright, glowing platinum. Now, this is the seat of your soul, the seat of your mastery. Just take a few moments now to just sit and really feel the presence of your higher self. You might even want to say these words out loud or in your head. I am my highest self.
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 And then move your attention slowly up to your abdomen, to your sacral chakra, and just be aware of your sacral chakra getting bigger. The most beautiful, translucent, soft pink, holding transcendent love. All your sexuality, all your love and creative energy, the most beautiful, soft pink.
And then just from your sacral, just move your attention to a beautiful bright orange chakra that is just placed above it, exactly where your navel is. See it glowing like your own personal sun. This is your activated navel chakra. Now this holds the keys and the codes of all of your connection to all that is, to everyone and everything around you, the plants, the trees, the flowers, the birds, all forms of life. But it also contains something very, very important. It contains the gold print for the future of all of us in the fifth dimension. Just as you breathe into this chakra, your bright orange navel, just feel it beginning to release this future map that we are all sharing together as we move into the higher frequencies of the fifth dimension.
And then move your frequency up to your solar plexus. Take a deep breath into your solar plexus. And let go. And at the fifth dimension, this becomes a beautiful golden ball of light. It's holding your confidence, your self-worth, your power with wisdom. Nothing can touch you or get into your energy fields when this chakra is fully fifth dimensional and active.
Now continue to move the energy up and take a deep breath in to the pure white of your fifth dimensional heart center. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, feel the energy from the center of your heart begin to expand outwards, first of all touching shoulder to shoulder. And take another deep breath in. As you breathe out, feel your heart center expanding even further and starting to touch and light up all of the others around you. Might be people from your family, might be people living next door. Just take the time to just send your heart light out in a bubble so that people around you can rise to your frequency.
And now move your attention to your throat chakra. In order for your throat chakra to be fully fifth dimensional, clear now anything that has blocked it from past lives. Especially check that your Atlantean collar that was put there to block your throat chakra being fully fifth dimensional is removed. You may sense it in any form, as a studied collar or in any other way. And just ask Archangel Michael now to fully take every last vestige of that collar out. To take it away and dissolve it completely. And then let your fifth dimensional royal blue chakra of truth and honesty and strength, protection and integrity and higher communication come fully into force in your throat.
And then continuing to breathe and relax, just move your attention up from your throat. You might even start to feel you might feel a little bit of work continuing in the throat area. Move your attention to the crystal ball of your third eye and just take a few moments with your eyes shut to really feel and sense and see it. It should appear to you as a beautiful, clear crystal ball with just a hint of divine emerald green shining through from Archangel Raphael's energy. A beautiful, clear crystal ball. Now, just tuning into it, do you have any mist or any fog or any blemishes on it that you just want to clear at this time? Your third eye allows you to see the world around you, or feel it, or hear it, or sense it, either clairsentiently, clairaudiently, clairvisually, all of these different powers that are attributed to the third eye. Just ask for Archangel Raphael to just gently touch and light up your third eye chakra now. Clear it and balance it, so that you may create your reality with balance as an ascended master. And just feel this finger of light just touching and clearing away anything that may be blocking your third eye at this time.
And then move to the crown of your head. You might even like to just touch the crown of your head, just to feel the energy. And be aware of your 1,000-petaled crown opening. Each petal or chamber crystal clear. With a hint of pale yellow, of Jophiel's yellow, as he touches your crown, and you may feel each petal of your crown opening wide and reaching out to the stars to connect with different star and planetary systems and bring in universal knowledge into your consciousness.
And then just moving your attention up from your beautiful, wide open crown to the transcendent chakra just above the crown, which looks like your own personal moon. And this is your causal chakra. Take a few moments to tune into it. And this allows all of the divine feminine energy flowing in through the moon to connect with you, but it is also your portal to the higher realms. Just tune into it and invite your causal to open to allow the pure white beings of light to connect with you. Who is coming through this evening for you? It could be a unicorn. It could be a connection with an archangel. It could just be a message of pure love from the heavens. Just allow it to connect with you.
Now we're moving up to your soul star chakra. Two aspects to this. First, you move into Archangel Zadkiel's chamber. That is violet. Beautiful violet energy clearing stuff from your soul. And then move into the higher aspect of your soul star, the beautiful magenta light, and see your entire soul star becoming a vast magenta light, holding your soul wisdom, all the gifts from your soul journey, everything that you have ever learned or experienced is held here.
And now moving your attention up from your beautiful shining soul star chakra to your stellar gateway chakra, which is about 1 meter above the top of your head, and see it glowing a beautiful, magnificent, radiant golden orange. As you tune into this chakra, see it starting to open like a chalice. Consciously ask it to draw in ascension light from the heavens for you now. And see your stellar gateway opening. And just be aware that Archangel Metatron is joining us all now. Just give us the gift of ascension light this evening. So feel this pouring in through your stellar gateway. And just feel this moving down your chakras now as your bodies and your fields accept it. For your light quotient rising just steadily at a perfect level for you, washing through you physically, mentally, emotionally, and into your spiritual fields all around you. Just breathe that light in. Okay.
And then it's time to open your eyes. Return to the room, knowing that you're now holding fifth dimensional light.
And there you go. And that is the 12 chakras.
Yeah, very simply. Thank you for those of you who asked that question.
Yeah.
Okay, and that was what's the most important thing to do for Ascension?
And that's it.
Yeah, don't let's deal with the next question right now, not when we're in such alignment. How can we best deal with the pressure to get vaccinated? And then a lot of negative stuff about where the problems people are holding.
Yeah.
And of course, the answer is we incarnated now as light workers to hold the light through all the challenges as all the forces tried to stop the new change taking place.
Yeah.
And so the answer is Hold yourself in the flame of freedom. Keep opening your 12 fifth dimensional chakras and trust that you will be looked after and guided.
If you're feeling challenged at the moment, you have incarnated to be here at this time, and you do have the strength and the tools and more than the capacity to be dealing with this. But it just feels a little bit uncomfortable and very strange and very pressured.
Scary for a lot of people.
Very.
But don't buy into it. Don't listen to the news. Don't listen to all these people around you talking about it.
Make your own decisions.
Focus on the positive. Focus on that kitchen being finished, that new age coming in, the extraordinary and awesome things ahead. And know that you have the strength.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I like this question.
Oh, wait a minute. When will COVID end?
Oh,
that was the second half of it.
Yeah.
And the answer is when the frequency of humanity has risen above the frequency of the disease. I'm always doing this disease situation, the same problem. Raise your frequency here, and can that situation, that disease, that thing, whatever it is, can it find you? No, because you're here.
The thing to remember about the physical human body is that it will always work in harmony with what you are doing, what we're putting into it. So again, it's as within, so without. I believe that the physical body becomes unwell in order to clear energies or physical toxins that it no longer needs. And so then when it has cleared what it needs to clear, it is then at a higher level. So a lot of what we are experiencing at the moment is us learning to look after ourselves and take responsibility for our own physical sovereignty.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sorry. I was just looking into other questions, but here we are. A simple one here. What can we do to make the golden age come sooner? The golden age is a set date. Some things in life are set in stone, like 2012, the cosmic moment, like the fact that in 2012, the Olympics were going to take place in London because that's the Earth star chakra of the planet. And all these countries were bidding for it, but it was always set in stone that it was going to be in London. And the new golden age, it's set in stone 20 years after the cosmic moment that it comes in.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, you want to take that one, please? Tell me about
I think
Holy Amethyst.
I think this is a lovely question, actually. It's yes.
This is Archangel Amethyst.
This is a question. Please tell me about Holy Amethyst. So we are assuming that the question is about Holy Amethyst, the stone. Okay, but there is also Archangel Amethyst, who is basically the twin aspect of Archangel Zadkiel. So this is what I have got about Holy Amethyst, and we're talking about this kind of amethyst. Yes, which is very beautiful.
Well, that's the feminine aspect. I've got a very deep amethyst, which is more masculine.
So that's a very, very beautiful piece of amethyst. So that I'm now going to tell you what Archangel Zadkiel says about the amethyst stone, and it's great. Some of you might be quite surprised about this because everybody's got amethyst, and we just take it as a part of life.
This is beautiful.
So this is beautiful. So this is a book that was written in this was published in 1953. A lot of you that joined David, Esri and I's workshops this year, we worked with the beloved Seven Archangels Speak, which to me, it was the most amazing book because it was channeled all that time ago. And I'm just wondering whether everybody who read it and listened to it at these times had the same relevance to it back then as we do now, because it's almost like, feels like it was written for this age a little bit. So these words are from Archangel Zadkiel himself. In the early ages, before mankind lost the connection with the Godhead, the amethyst was worn only by the priests and priestesses of the order of Zadkiel, those who had qualified to invoke and magnetize the power of the sacred fire for the good of the people. No being in these golden ages on Atlantis, on Lemuria, would have presumed to wear or use the amethyst unless they belonged to the order of Zadkiel. Through the later days, the sacredness, the reverence, the mystic meaning behind the jewels and the other talisman of the sacred fire have lost their inner and their outer significance. Okay, so what he is basically saying is that many of us have amethyst, and we kind of take these crystals a little bit for granted. And in actual fact, they are so pure and so radiant that it's almost like the archangels are wishing us to treat our crystals as they do, with that kind of reverence. So that is how I believe that question is being asked.
Yeah. And remember that the pharaohs and kings in ancient times, they wore rubies and other gems, which are the manifestation of the archangel, because they believed that if they wore it with the right energy, it would help them to connect to that archangel, which of course it did, so that they could take decisions with wisdom. And this is the same thing.
It is.
It's just reminding us of the purity of an amethyst.
And it's lovely stuff.
Okay. Would love hearing as much as you can share about Lemuria. Okay. This is from Rainbow Syndra. Very, very quickly. It was a vast fifth dimensional healing force that spread throughout the entire universe and touched everywhere in the universe that needed that pure healing energy. It carried the energy of oneness. The lesson of Lemuria really is oneness. Like when you see migrating birds who come from or learned in Lemuria, they all move as one because they believe that that energy is more powerful than if they're all working individually. So that noise in the background is my dog Sugar. They drew the love and light of Source down through the cosmic heart into Earth. That was one of their gifts. They also formed the healing crystals for humanity now. How they did this was they took energies from the aura of Earth, from Source itself, from other star systems, and the qualities, these special pure qualities, they merged it into one, and then with the help of the dragons poured it into the ley lines of the planet with the intention that the planet would light up from inside. Thank you, Sugar.
Yeah.
So that the planet would light up from inside, and that it would then be seen from the universe. But the fascinating thing is that Lemuria was thousands of years ago. It was the era before Atlantis, and Atlantis lasted 260,000 years ago. And they planted those crystals then because they knew that humanity would need that energy now during this 20-year period. And anybody who has been Lemurian loves being in nature. So one way of telling that Lemurian is that you love nature and you love crystals. The energy is strongest in Australia, New Zealand, Polynesian Islands, parts of Africa and Northeast Africa. And of course, the Aborigines, they were the ones that anchored the energy, or most of the energy, as much as they could of that energy, when they came in. And so they are holding some of that Lemurian energy for us now. That's just a quick whistle stop.
That's a lovely explanation.
Thank you, Tim.
Yeah. So next, I think we've got time for one more question.
Have we? Okay. Do you want to choose it?
Yeah. It's so we know Tim was Thoth in Atlantis. Who are you in a past life, Diana? What star system are you from?
I always avoid this question if I possibly can. Thank you, Chair.
And you, I believe you were Lady Venus in Atlantis.
Yes, I was. Yeah. And I come from a 10th dimensional universe, so not from this universe. And I stepped down into this lifetime through Neptune. And I think you stepped down through Neptune.
Yeah, I came through Neptune as well.
But it's the plane of spirituality.
Yeah.
And so
happy memories of stepping down through Neptune. It's a good step down point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, should we just quickly take that one? We don't want to end on that one about me. As I understand, your monad is in charge of 12 by 12. That's 144 souls. Yeah. Is it possible that an archangel could be a monad?
There is archangel energy within every monad.
Yeah.
It's monadic energy is so vast that it's very difficult for us to comprehend it. If you think about the quantity of light and knowledge that 144 souls that have reincarnated thousands and millions of times have actually put into it, every time we kind of report back, the monad grows in grows in essence. So there is a little bit of everything in a monad.
Just add one thing, which my guide told me many years ago, which was that the very first monads, there were 12 of those that were very first created, and that was the energy of source stepped down once.
Right.
Those monads were known as the sons and daughters of God, and there were 12 sons, daughters of God, and one was allocated to each dimension, one of which was Jesus.
Right.
Okay. Kim was also one, apparently.
Well, that's a lovely bit of information. Thank you. So
Thank
on that note, we are going to love you all and leave you, and just thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah. Really enjoyed tonight.
Yeah, really enjoyed tonight. Thank you for your questions, and sorry to those of you that we didn't get to.
Yes,
but obviously we've had a lot. So yeah, we'll see you all soon.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye. There we go.